Hi folks, this is my video in support of the Show Us Your Steak challenge. Hope you enjoy it. Fantastic. That looks better. So as you can see, I'm using the fire pit in my backyard to do the Show Us Your Steak challenge. I didn't have nearby plans to head out to the bush soon, so this is the next best thing. And I'm just going to wait for the fire to burn the wood down into some coals, and then we can get on to cooking and preparing. Burning up pretty good. Time to relax with a Young Henry's Summer Hop Ale. Summery and hoppy. Ooh. Let me just show you this can. So, Scotty from Scotty's Gone Walkabouts actually designed and drew up that graphic on the front, and he does quite a bit for these guys at Young Henry's. So if you check his channel, you'll see more about it, but really enjoying the beers too. Thanks, Scotty. So, this challenge, Show Us Your Steak challenge, I was nominated by Dave from Drynet, channel Drynet. I'll put a link down below with all the other links down below. But essentially, the Show Us Your Steak challenge was started by Haze from Haze Outdoors, and I'll put a link to his original video as well. And the idea behind it is to highlight men's mental health and sometimes the lack thereof. So the idea is you go outside, cook a steak and raise awareness amongst this community that we have. So men's mental health is something that I guess a lot of other guys have already mentioned, doesn't get talked about too much. A lot of us come from male role models, fathers, grandfathers, who just got on with it, never talked about what they were feeling and the troubles they faced, and if they had depression or not, that sort of thing. One of the hardest things to realize and be aware of yourself is that you may be depressed, you may have depression. The good thing to know is there are a lot of resources now, again I'll put links below, but a lot of resources where someone will talk to you, someone will help you, and you won't be alone, and you can get help, and you can be better. And that's what this is about. So, with that being said, I'll get on to cooking this a bit more, drinking this fine summer ale, and hopefully you'll enjoy the steak when I get it going. I'll tell you more about that a bit later on. First course is going to be some of these lovely pork, apple and sage sausages. And if you're an Aussie, you know you cannot have a barbecue, especially outside, without some sausages. There's always one that's the sacrificial sausage. So we'll find out which one that is. There's always one that falls off and the dog takes it, or something like that. As well as the sausages, I'm going to do a roast potato a la Joe and Zach Survival. Just on the edge of the fire, just down there. Should be ready by the time the steak is done. Here go the sausages. So while the sausages are cooking, I'll explain the steak I'm doing. I've got a piece of New York cut which has been dry aged for about 6 to 8 weeks, and normally I would use the single turn method on cooking a steak, but because it's dry aged, it's a lot drier than normal beef, and so normally I look for liquid to come to the surface, not going to be there. So the other method I've seen talked about is to pre-warm the meat in the oven. So at the moment, that's where it is. It's inside, cooking very slowly at a low temperature, and then after the sausages are done, I'll be bringing it out and finishing it off on the grill. So the cats come out to join me. There's lots of birds around, hopefully you can hear them. It's a very pleasant part of Sydney that I live in. But anyway, to talk about men's mental health, I think a reason a lot of people in the bushcraft or camping or hiking or whatever you'd like to call it do these kind of things is because they want to get away from their normal kind of existence and get in touch with nature or explore or challenge themselves. Certainly one of the reasons I started camping, I guess you'd call it, was to have some sense of adventure. Even if it was a small adventure, it was still something, instead of my normal desk-bound job where I'm sitting in front of a computer every day, moving information back and forth, sending emails to people, all that sort of stuff. And I longed just to, you know, revisit my youth, I guess, when I was in Boy Scouts and things like that, to enjoy camping and nature, and partially to be alone in a way, but also to be able to reset, you know, to find a bit of peace and quiet and to recharge yourself a little bit. So it's good for physical health, but excellent for mental health to get out in the bush and enjoy yourself. Anyway, I'm going to get on and look after these sausages before they burn up, and I'll talk to you a bit more about the steak. It's nice and hot. Got some good coals happening down there. That one's getting a little crispy. And this one not so much. So these are about ready to come off. This one certainly. Cut one of these sausages up to see what they're like. It's mostly cooked. Let's see what it tastes like. That's a damn good snagger. So here is the New York cut after it's been pre-heated through in the oven. Now I just need to finish it off on the grill. Doesn't that look great? It's going to look even better. So while the steak is just finishing off, we're not Philistines out here. We're going to have a bit of cheese and crackers. There's some blue cheese, some brie, and some nice tasty cheddar. And as well as that, we're going to have a nice drop of Lewin Estate Cabernet Sauvignon. We've got a lot of culture. Anyway, I'm going to drink some of that culture. Cheers, folks. Oh yeah, tasty. And a bit of blue cheese on a cracker. Let's turn this bad boy over. Oh yeah, look at that. Now I'm just going to turn it on its edge to crisp up the fat. And also grab my wine. Look at that. Oh yes. Fantastic. Now I'm just going to put it over here. Just going to let it sit for 4 or 5 minutes. Maybe a bit longer. Look at that. Nothing but a little bit of salt. You thought I forgot about the potato, didn't you? There he is. So the way to check if a potato's done is if you can squeeze it, then you know it's done. Another tip from Joe and Zach Survival. Anyway, again I need to let that cool down a bit, so I'll put that with the sausages. So while we're letting the steak cool down, I'll tell you who my nominations are for their own Show Us Your Steak challenge. Firstly, and because I watch his channel and I love young Henrys, you've seen me show you the can before, I nominate Scotty from Scotty's Gone Walkabout, a great Australian channel. Like me, he loves to show off the Australian bush. Please check him out if you can. I'll put his link down below. So Scotty, your turn, mate. Number 2 on my list is Gordon from Bushcraft Survival Australia. His channel is a real tutorial about bushcraft and survival, especially for people in Australia. So I recommend you check him out. Gordon, love your work, mate. I've always followed what you've done. Been extremely helpful with things like just putting up a hoochie, canvas tarp, all that sort of stuff. Number 3, and certainly not the least, is one of the big ones. I nominate Mike from MCQBushcraft. Mike you've set the standard for a lot of people in terms of the cinematography, the enjoyment of the outside, the participation and just the living the life of what it means to be in bushcraft. And we've all enjoyed your trips, and especially now you and Megan going up to the Scandinavian countries. And haven't seen much from you recently on YouTube. Hopefully we will soon. But I'm nominating you, so hopefully you'll see this and cook a steak for us. And although we're allowed 3 nominations, I'd like to nominate a 4th, Joe Jensen from Joe and Zach Survival, a great American YouTube channel, really wholesome, great just work ethic. Joe is the hardest working man you'll ever see. Has built a fantastic get away from it shelter he calls the tent, on the shore of a lake. He goes fishing, he goes hunting, he just enjoys the wilderness and brings his family as part of that. Great to see. So Joe, you're number 4 on the list. Hopefully you see this and maybe cook us up a fantastic pork steak like you normally do. Anyway guys, I hope that maybe some of you will follow this on, take up the baton for the Show Us Your Steak challenge. And I'm just about to cut into my steak and we'll see how well I've done. I hope this has helped raise the profile of men's mental health and help spread the word amongst our bushcraft and survivalist kind of community. Thanks again. Cheers. Alright, I'm going to see how well we did. Oh, it's actually cooked quite medium. I expected it to be much rarer than that. Here we go. Oh, it's a little pink in the center. But the proof is really in the pudding. I mean, this is aged beef, so I don't expect it to look beautiful and pink, but let's try some. Oh man, that's incredibly tasty. Wow. So tender. I'm gonna get some more aged beef in the future. That's fantastic. Mmm. Yum. For those of you who thought I forgot about my potato, I didn't. And there it is. I'll just cut that bad boy up. Oh, that's going to be great. So that, steak, sausage, just a fantastic meal. Cheers everyone. Thanks for watching. Spread the word, and I'll see you in the next video.